Alrighty, so here's our supplies today. This stuff in total is about $20. I got this tool set for 10 bucks. This was 4, this was 3, and this was 3 as well. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up all this surface grime on top of the roof. So we're just gonna spray simple green on it and then brush it off. And then we're going to take off this rack and reseal all this with silicone so that it doesn't leak. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. All right, so my rack is held in with either a 10 or 12 millimeter socket. That's an 11, here's a 12. So we're gonna figure that out real fast. Alrighty, here's the 10. It's way too small. 12 fits. So now we know. Alrighty, so you wanna make sure you're doing each one of these a little bit at a time. I know that my roof rack is a socket. It's got socket bolts. So that's why I've got this, but some of them are different. But you want to do these each a little bit at a time so you don't mess up the actual connection to the roof. Alrighty, so this is now how it's looking now that it's loose. Just gonna keep doing it a little bit at a time until it's fully loose, then we'll peel this off. We'll go do the other sides, etc., etc. All the bolts have been removed. Now we'll get the rack. Pro tip, always leave your bolts somewhere safe and in order. This is exactly how the rack would fit on with the front of the car up here. Alrighty, so the roof rack's off. This is how it looks. Nice and dirty in there and messed up. See how there's not a little plastic guy on there? It's disgusting. So we're gonna spray some simple green on here and scrub it off, let it sit for a minute and scrub it all off, clean it. And then we'll come in here to these rails and silicone all these openings and whatnot. All right, now it is time to brush. So after one layer of simple green and scrubbing versus the other side, so a big difference already, but still a lot of work to do. Another update, it's cleaned up nicely, but golly, this is hard work. I just went and changed clothes and put my contacts in and got a speaker because this is a lot more than I thought it'd be. Alrighty, so this is how it's looking right now. It looks so much better, but it's not perfect. I think what we'll go ahead and do is take off these guys, clean all this out, and fill those in. And then if I want to, come back to this roof, but making sure these aren't leaking when it rains real hard or snows is my main priority. Alright, so these little rubber things just peel right off. You can get in there and clean it out first. Nice and simple, sprayed simple green in there, and then use this towel to just run down the edges, and it looks a lot better. Now I'm actually going to clean these guys, and then we'll get to the silicone stuff. Alright, so now the gutter's all cleaned up, it is time to use this stuff, the black adhesive sealant. I'm going to get it out and then show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so these little holes where the rack goes in seem to be the only holes on this section. You know, all this is just a viewpoint, but there's obviously 2 sets on each side. So what we're going to do is we're first going to put sealant around this and then let that dry and see how that looks, because you can't really tell, but there's a little gap right there. So I'm wondering if that could cause a leak. All right, so I just squirted some around, and now this little back corner, it couldn't really get back there, so I'm just gonna spread it around with this toothpick. I'm just trying to get a nice layer around that. All right, that's how it looks afterward. I wouldn't say it's the best job ever, but it's covering up all those edges, so I'm hoping that that works. Alrighty, so my roommate just helped me put the rack back on, and now we're gonna start slowly putting the bolts back in. We're gonna do each one just a little bit at a time. Over here, so these are barely in. And we're just gonna get them a little bit in there and then go to the next set, make sure all the bolts are lined up with the lining in there so that the rack fits on right. So I'll be back after I do that. Alrighty, so now we got all 8 of the bolts, 4 on each side, in just a little bit. We're gonna slowly go around and tighten each one just a little bit more until they are locked tight. Alrighty, so now my bolts are hand tight. I'll probably take them by somewhere or borrow a tool to torque them down to whatever spec is, but I mean, this piece is on there. So look at the roof, it looks a lot better. You can still see, you know, where it's got the gunk on it, but this truck's 13 years old, so for it to look perfect is not not very feasible. But really proud of my work so far, and I'm hoping to test out how tight these are in the new silicone in there, and see if that helps with any leaks or anything that this truck may have. So I may leave it out in the next big rainstorm and just test it, but looks good. And thanks for watching.